everybody. Woo! I am so excited to get ready and start. Sorry, I need to move this back because I talk loud. With this new series, I'm excited about it. I appreciate everybody that's here today, and let's go ahead and get started. Guests up here, how y'all doing?
Good. So good.
You good? Okay, got water there for you, so. All right, so Who We Are series. I'm really excited about this because I feel like it is important for us to be open and transparent with each other about who we are as individuals and also who we are as a collective. We are all in this together, and it's nice to have conversations to understand each other a little bit better, some of our stories and our experiences. So we are going to get right to it, and I know that some people were a little uncomfortable with some of these topics, and I think that this is something we should talk about because it's all over social media, in our workplaces, in our schools, and so we should talk about this. So I believe that we are all striving to be successful and achieve some type of positive self-realization, correct? You all believe? Okay. That said, the journey we take to get there can look different based on societal expectations, insecurities, and what we believe is healthy or against our standards. So let's venture down this path to success and self-realization. I believe the topics we're about to discuss can either help us or harm us or do a little bit in between. It also can awaken us or cause us to be in a state of emotional paralysis during this journey. That's why I feel it's important to have open dialogue as we navigate through as individuals and as a collective. So let's get to it. We are going to start with body positivity. And I chose this topic because it is everywhere, body positivity. And I want to kind of talk about that and see how it could possibly be helpful to us, right? And how it can also potentially be harmful. And so what does body positivity mean to you all? What do you think that means? Sarah, I see your brain doing things. Tell me what it means.
I would say that body positivity has a lot to do with the fact that all bodies are good bodies and that there is not one way to have a body. I think this has been a really important part of my journey. I know that for some people it can be difficult to think about body in a positive way, and my therapists have always helped me to understand that starting with some kind of body neutrality is a great starting place. You don't have to swing right to, I love my body, but to get away from the body hatred, I think is a great goal for everyone. And I think that what we see a lot of body positivity being talked about in social media, and way more so than when I started on this journey. I started in about 2016, got into therapy for an eating disorder that I had had for 15 years. And it was a long and slow recovery that again started more with body neutrality than positivity, but I'm happy to report has evolved to a very positive place. So for me, thank you.
Give her that.
For me, it has a lot to do with becoming who you are in the world and falling in love with who you are in this body, because this is the one you've got. So for me, body positivity has absolutely changed my life for the better, has made me be able to be more present in my life. And I think that I try to help other people at least get to where they can maybe think about their bodies in a neutral way, because when we're hating on ourselves, that's just negative energy that nobody needs. So that would be, that's where I'd start.
Awesome, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else, body positivity? Tara?
I'd say body positivity also is just, kind of going off what she said, being comfortable in your own skin, liking what you have to like what you see in the mirror every day, not really worrying about what society or anything says you have to look like. And I think we're getting better now as far as you could see movie stars and musical artists. They're showing different body types when before it was just your standard, model type bodies. And so for me personally, though, body positivity is just, you being happy with yourself, liking what you see in the mirror, being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I think body positivity is how you feel on the inside. You can look like trash on the outside and still feel good on the inside because that's where your strength comes from. Okay? And also, you can look at the total other way around. You like trash on the outside and feel good on the inside. Still be positive about yourself,
Yeah,
and that reflects upon the other people.
yeah, no, it's true. You want to add something, Marissa?
Sure. So I think like being confident within yourself and like knowing your expectations and knowing what you want to see, and it doesn't really matter like what other people think. It's what you want. You're your own person. You do you, and if you like something, then go for it.
Anybody else?
Self-love.
Thank you.
It's all about self-love. I think this kind of goes into one of the other topics that we're going to be talking about tonight is the social media, what we're bombarded with on a
Yeah.
daily basis puts a standard in our head of, I'm supposed to look like this. So I think of the fitness magazines out there, and these people are chiseled, and then they're, they put the lighting just perfect, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
edit the photos, and we look at ourselves in the mirror like, oh, that's how I need to look.
Yeah.
That's what looking good is, right? And then that internal dialogue starts to turn negative. So I think it's really about just self-love, and I always talk to my clients and tell them, who's the person you talk with the most every day?
Yeah.
It's up here, it's up there. So if you're not nice to yourself, I mean, that's not a very good start. So
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. Paul, did you want to add anything?
Only that I agree with everything everyone else said.
Okay, okay. And I want to challenge a little bit because, sometimes the things we say, right, it sounds perfect, right? Because we've kind of crafted this message, right, that we tell ourselves, and sometimes we're watching those people on social media while we're eating, potato chips and, looking down at things coming out, it's like, what's happening down there? And so when we say like we don't care what other people think, we do care, right? And that's why we struggle so much sometimes with, Paul?
Well, I would suggest your timing for this was perfect. Oprah had a program last night on TV. And it was a great program in terms of trying to change people's perspective and see things from a different perspective. And, there were some heartfelt stories on there about people who have been criticized for the way they look, made fun of for the way they look and everything. Yeah. And, I love that Oprah just sat there and said, that doesn't really belong. And that's hurtful. And if we could eliminate that, she also set the perspective of that it's a disease. Weight control can be classified as a disease now, and there's a lot of help out there. So it was just a unique perspective, and it is important the way we view ourselves and see ourselves. And then Adam mentioned it, I think, that self-talk we have,
Yeah.
the person that we talk to when we look in the mirror. That's the most important person we talk to every day.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
person in the mirror.
Yeah.
And so it's critical that we're, that talk we have with ourselves is a supportive talk.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Can I follow up just
Sure.
a moment?
Yeah.
So one of the important things that I dug into in therapy with my first therapist and also my second, my first ended up leaving here and led a national program for eating disorder recovery. She is wonderful. She saved my life. But one of the things that we really dug into was the research about weight loss and that 95% of diets fail. And if you, and what I mean by that is, even if you were to lose the weight, 95% of the time it comes back and often more. And there's a lot of really, really strong research. Obviously, this is people who have been doing that in a professional way could give you more information. But for me, that was a game changer because it no longer looked at me as a fat woman and said, you are a failure, because I am not. I was very, very successful with many diets, and I was killing myself. I had an eating disorder. Eating disorders are deadly. And so for me, I am very passionate about helping people understand that this is not a failure on your part, that 95%, if a doctor recommended something that fails 95% of the time, you would look at him like he's crazy. And so I stepped out of that narrative and also started asking, who's trying to make money off of me hating my body? And the answer is the diet industry, the $72 billion diet industry. And so I think it's just important to start really challenging these narratives of I can only have worth if I am skinny, or that there is something that I could do, or that I was a failure for not losing the weight. It's just not true.
Yeah.
It's not borne out in the evidence, so.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because, I talk with my hands, so.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we do often kind of equate health with people who are thinner, right? And we know that is not the case all the time. But I do want to, because I'm kind of here to challenge,
Do it.
stir this pot a little bit. And so I want to challenge us sometimes with, do you think that the body positivity campaign, I call that sometimes, right? Do you think that is sometimes harmful? And I'm going to say it this way. Sometimes people can be unhealthy, right, as they start to gain weight. And so do you think that if we tell them that, it's fine, with diabetes, with high blood pressure, with whatever else, right? Do you think that's helpful? I want to get you all thought on that, on the other part of the side of it, right? Because the body positivity campaign is great in some areas, of course. And then on the other side, do you think there's some consequences to that?
Yes, because what a lot of people do is they'll grab research and they'll just touch the surface of it. They don't dig deep enough to fully understand it. Just like a lot of people when they start studying fitness, they teach you about conditional, essential, and non-essential amino acids. But they don't tell you there's over 400 amino acid residues. So until you fully understand the scope of it, you're just touching the surface. You can go out and one person will tell you to eat meat, one person tell you not eat meat.
Yeah.
One person tell you, hey, you need to get your protein. But isn't protein just a collection of amino acids? Now, if you get those amino acids, your body will build itself. It doesn't matter what the source is from. You just got to make sure they're clean. And the way the world is designed to keep you sick.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Okay? Now, when you get out and you study the earth and you realize the healthy foods that are growing right in your backyard that you hit with a weed whacker are more healthy than the grocery store variety, you truly understand health.
Yeah, and loving yourself, right? I mean, isn't that a part of it too, that things we put into our body, isn't that a part of it as well? But anybody want to add? Thank you, Hannah. Anybody else want to add?
Yeah, so ultimately, I think someone said it before, someone who's overweight can have phenomenal blood work, right? They can be healthy. And then you can have someone who looks healthy and their blood work is the
Terrible.
exact
Yeah.
opposite. So in what I do as a personal trainer, I see a lot of people come to me, and I work on nutrition coaching, and they're under eating chronically to the point of an eating disorder. And what happens when we're in that caloric deficit, which people always think, well, I lost this much at this calorie intake. If I eat less, I should lose more, and that's not the case, because what our bodies are built for is survival. And what happens is it's called adaptive thermogenesis, and when that happens, your body starts storing calories, which what is body fat? It's stored calories. When that happens, our bodies will naturally, to survive, start cutting off these other functions. It could be hair growth, it could be skin, your skin health could start declining, bone density starts declining. And these things happen because our body's like, we need to make sure that there's energy for hunting, for gathering food, for surviving. And that's heartbeat, that's breathing, that's all these things. So the diet industry, and I'm gonna call one of them out, it's Optavia. It's absolutely horrible. I had a client.
The views
jump
of
on
our
it.
panelists are not the views of the Breaking Bread.
Don't do that. I've had clients that, against my wishes, go on it, and it's just like you're hurting your body. So, I mean, it's all about health in the end, right?
Yeah.
So.
But I think one important thing, which you have spoken about a lot, which I appreciate, is that when you do love yourself, you desire to nourish your body. And when you listen to your inner voice, when you get rid of all of the externals, because like Henna was saying,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to get different instructions from all different nutritionists. They're all going to give you something different. I played that game for 15 years. I got really tired and I was really sick. And when I gave that up, there is health at every size. There is a way to pursue taking care of yourself, and that is your call. I don't think that it is right for us to stand in judgment of other people. So I don't stand in judgment of other people who take a different approach. But I do think that it's important to champion the individual's choice in how they take care of their bodies. And to note that really our bodies are smart. You know, our bodies were you all right?
Yeah, my earring fell
Okay,
off.
all right.
I need my earring.
All right, I'll talk while you get that fixed. Our bodies want to survive. And so just like he was saying, you,
That's never happened before.
your body will shut down the weight loss, for instance.
Yeah.
Because it says, we're in a famine and we're gonna die. And so it's like frantically holding on to all of the fat stores that you have. And so I think that the thing that changed my life was turning from the external voices to the internal, learning how to have that communication with my body again. My body tells me when I need a salad, and I eat a salad. And so it's just a different way of living, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I love what you talked about being in tune, right, with your inner self. A couple people. You want to add something?
Well, Aaron, I think you were trying to push a button there.
I try to push a couple buttons
Yeah.
sometimes.
And you started out by saying, you know, should we be telling someone, oh, your A1C's over 10. It's okay, just keep doing what you're doing. Oh, your cholesterol's off the charts and your triglycerides and, you know, you're gonna die. But it's okay, just make sure you feel good about yourself. And I think what you were saying is, try to find some balance between that self-love that you talked about, Adam, and making good decisions based on good information. And I think that's something that maybe we all struggle with, and finding that place that works for us.
Yeah, it's difficult. Did you want to add something, Marissa? I see you kind of
Sure.
yeah, go ahead, and then we're going to jump to a new topic.
I feel like I definitely agree with everyone. I feel like, you know, you should be able to feed what you want to feed yourself and be able to be confident within yourself. And so that being said, if you want to eat something that you want to eat it. Like, no one's going to judge you. You're your own person. You judge what you want to, like, eat, you know, and if the other opinions, like, matter, then the only opinion that matters is yours, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. I want to jump to the next one, fat phobia, right? Fat phobic. Now, let me tell y'all, the reason why I added this to it is because this has been an interesting thing. I'm a YouTuber, right? I watch these YouTube reels and these videos, and this conversation is a very interesting one right now. And the reason why I wanted to bring this into the dialogue today is because I watched this video. I think my husband sent it to me. He sends me videos, right? And I go down these rabbit holes, and I stay there for quite some time. I'm researching. I call it research, right? And it was really interesting because there were women who happened to be thinner, right, standing outside of a gym. And the women who were, what you call the ones storing for preservation, people that were a little bit more.
We're gonna be safe in a famine,
Yeah, they'll be
baby.
safe. Yes, the hunters and the gatherers. They were inside of the gym and they were working out, right? Because they wanted to lose weight. And as they were coming out of the gym, the women were calling the people that were working out fat phobic against themselves because they wanted to change their image. And that is a thing right now where if you are, I mean, let's think about some of the celebrities that people say celebrities, right? Lizzo, Adele, Monique. I could name quite a few who were larger, right? Based on what society says, they became thinner, and their fan base turned on them and called them traitors because they wanted to get healthier for them, right? So it's this idea that we sometimes celebrate people if they're, you know, gaining the weight and just feeling good about themselves, but then when they try to lose weight, they were shamed and they were called fat phobic, which I was so confused about because, you know, and of course you look, okay, what is fat phobia, right? Someone that hates someone who's fat. But it's like they're saying they hate themselves. So what do you all think about that? Like, tell me about that. I mean, that's a thing right now where people are shaming people for wanting to be healthier, what they perceive as healthier. So what do you all think about that? Talk to me.
I mean, I can only think of, like, for example, Lizzo's fan base.
Yes.
A lot of them may be of the bigger bodied type, and maybe they feel like she's betraying them because she was all, hyping that up and,
Yeah.
and so now she's going total opposite. So I feel like they would probably think, oh, you don't really think that being big is beautiful, or because now you're doing this. So
Right.
I think that
And
that's probably.
doesn't that go back to what Paul was saying,
Yeah.
like balance, right? I am all about balance. So it's okay to say big is beautiful, but then also say, my blood pressure is killing me,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, I want to live to a little longer. Go ahead, Sarah. I see you. Go ahead. Say it. Talk. That's what
There
you're here
is
for.
no connection between size and health, period. There just isn't. You can be so thin and so unhealthy. You can be enormously obese and so healthy according to your blood work. It just makes me mad that our culture has connected the two so strongly that we can't even get outside of that view in our discussions. In reality, what do I think is happening when people are mad at women who are famous who have lost weight? First of all, as a woman who has lost weight a number of times, I have literally never been shamed for it. I have only been praised and told how amazing and self-controlled and hardworking and all of this horrible things, because I only got praised when I lost weight, only, exclusively. So this may be a phenomenon that is more for women who are more in the public eye, but what do I think is in the root of it? Hatred of women, period. I just think we like to find reasons to hate women. And so I reject it, and I think that I don't think it's any of their business if Adele or Lizzo want to lose weight for any reason at all. It can be any reason at all. It is not your body. It is not your choice. It's a passion of
Oh,
mine.
I see you get all revved up. I like. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
Just a different perspective.
No, please. That's what we're here for.
How about this quote I found? Don't take criticism from people you'd never go to for advice.
Yeah. I like that quote.
How about that? Because what we're talking about is other people criticizing us or someone else and getting a reaction from us.
Yeah.
And, why would we take criticism from someone that we wouldn't go ask for their advice?
Yeah.
Well, as a woman, because we've been taught we need to.
We can give him that. Yes.
But I do agree with you.
Yeah,
I think that it's difficult in many settings because we've been taught we need to listen to other people's criticism.
I think that was bad advice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Paul.
Don't listen to those people anymore.
I will say though, once I start losing weight, I welcome people saying, "Girl, you look good." So I will take that. So just so
But
you
you
all know.
look good, Erin. You look beautiful.
Sarah, don't. Okay, I shouldn't have sat her next to me.
We're trouble.
So okay, let's get to the next one. Pretty privilege. Do you all think that's a real thing? Pretty privilege. In case people don't know what that is basically that you get special treatment if you're what society says is pretty. And I want to say that I want to kind of go on to like handsome privilege because it's not just like, because what I found is that sometimes with women, right, if a man is somewhat unattractive to them, whatever he does is like grosses them out. Like, oh my God, you looked my direction, you are, creeping me out, you're a creep. But if they think that they're, handsome, then it's like, oh my God, you're such a creep. It changes, right? So do you think that pretty privilege is a real thing? Go ahead, Marissa.